Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. We're here for a match preview. Lots going on in and around Molineux right now. Football matches coming thick and fast with us playing West Bromwich Albion on Sunday. We've got Manchester United. And then we played Chelsea over the weekend. And we've got the transfer deadline as well with Wolves, hoping to add one or two more before the deadline. We're going to be focusing on the United game today, but of course, any other news, be sure to follow us on all the socials at Talking Wolves, and we'll try and catch up on the YouTube as well when we can. But yeah, United really looking forward to this game because back under the lights at Molineux, and we look at the league table, Wolves are breathing down the neck of Manchester United as it stands. Very quickly looking at the table, Wolves in 11th place with 29 points and a -1 goal difference. Manchester United on 32 points with a -5 goal difference. So a win for Wolves will confirm that they do go above Manchester United. And I think I mentioned it on the podcast. If Wolves can come into the end of the weekend being in the top half of the Premier League table, that'd be a really, really good position. If they can get 4 to 6 points, which is tough but doable, Wolves will be in a really, really good position. A win tomorrow will level on points as well with Newcastle in 7th place. Of course, Newcastle got a really healthy goal difference, but puts Wolves in a really, really strong position right now. And of course, a lot of the attention is being on the Black Country Derby, what happened there, but it was great for Wolves to get a win. I know it wasn't pretty, it wasn't the best game of football for Wolves, but really didn't have to get out of first or second gear. We got in there, got the win, into round 5, get out of there, and that's exactly what Wolves needed to do. So having this game is going to be interesting for Wolves, and some big bonuses from Gary O'Neill's press conference as well. Ryan Aït-Nouri back available. I know he's in the squad against West Brom, but Gary O'Neill has said he'll be available from the start, which to me means that he may well start the game. Pablo Sarabia as well, he's back available. He missed out. He travelled with the squad to the Hawthorns on Sunday, but wasn't in the squad. And there was one other player available as well, who I can't remember off the top of my head. And João Gomez, obviously, coming back from his suspension, which is a big bonus for Wolves. I say it's a big bonus. It gives Gary O'Neill a little bit of a selection headache because if you look at, Tommy Doyle, who's come in his place, been phenomenal. I think he's played pretty much every minute of the last 5 or 6 games. We've won every single one of those games. So he's been, really, really good. And to be fair to him, I'll say win. I think we got the draw against Brentford as well. So to be fair to him, he should probably keep his place. But the thing is, I think him and Mario Lemina, there may be some knocks there. We may well see João Gomez come straight back in. A suggestion that I said on the podcast as well, we may well see Wolves switch to a midfield 3, so Wolves 3 can play. But then I think that's probably takes away a little bit, maybe a little bit too negative for a home game possibly. But you could play Cunha and Neto as a front 2. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that one. But definitely a winnable game for Wolves. You look at Manchester United right now, all sorts going on behind the scenes. We do have a little talk about that on the away perspective shortly. But against Newport, I watched most of that game, Manchester United against Newport, and they made hard work of it, really hard work of it. And it was a strong Manchester United team, that was. So every chance of Wolves to just pile on the misery for Manchester United and their fans right now. We've got okay form against them historically. We reverse fixture, if you remember, all the VAR controversy right at the start of the season with Onana clattering into Kalajdzic, and that was a massive talking point for a long while. And we played really well in that game, so if we can repeat performance, there's every chance that we go into this game and get 3 points. So I'm really, really hoping that Wolves can do so, and it'll put us in a phenomenal position in the league. Let's have a quick look at my predicted lineup for this game anyway. Not many changes, I think, really. I'd say you start off once again with Sarr in goal. I think Aït-Nouri comes back in if fit. I don't think Doc was awful against West Brom. I actually thought he had a good game, but I think Aït-Nouri's got to come in. He always performs quite well against these big teams. Same back 3, Totti, Dawson and Kilman with Nelson Semedo at right wing back. In midfield 2, I've stuck with Doyle and Lemina, but honestly I would not be surprised to see Gomez come in, more than likely in for Doyle, who took a couple of knocks after that game against West Brom. And then a front 3, I think Sarabia. No, I'll go with Bellegarde. I'll keep Bellegarde in there alongside Neto and Cunha. Those two going to be pivotal in this game and hopefully really kick on and start scoring and getting some more assists as well. That'd be massive for the Wolves. But guys, we have the away perspective. I spoke to Tyrone earlier. Always great to have him back on the channel to give his thoughts on Manchester United and some of his thoughts on Wolves as well going into Thursday night's game. So then, guys, delighted to have Tyrone with me once again for the Manchester United perspective. Ty from the podcast Never a Foul. Good to have you back, man. How you keeping?
It's good, yeah, not too bad. Feel like it's a regular now. Every Wolves United game, I'm here.
Yeah,
at
no,
least,
it's
at
good,
least the
man.
people like me. I know. I want to thank your channel actually because see when we've done them before, the comments actually like appreciate the feedback and stuff and saying how balanced I am and stuff. So yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's a big up your channel. Hope you guys are doing well. So thanks for having me again.
No, that's all right. Yeah, no, it was a big part of you bringing you back. Obviously, you got good opinion on Wall stuff, and obviously clued up on Manchester United as well, which we'll talk about. So it's quite an interesting game, but I don't think Wolves fans have sort of, and I think our last Premier League game was the same because we had all the drama with West Bromwich Albion. There's not really been that much focus on our last couple of Premier League games. So to have this one so soon after is it's going to be interesting to see how Wolves do. But I mean, between the two teams, Wolves are actually right, breathing down Manchester United's neck. Really, a win for Wolves at Molineux on Thursday, and we actually go ahead of United in the table.
No.
What's your what's your thoughts on this season so far? Because obviously out of Europe, struggling a little bit. Obviously, a lot of speculation about Ten Hag's future and the ownership of the club. I mean, it's been a bit of a mad season for United so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? I'll be honest with you. Has been bitterly disappointing, and it's so funny, right? Because we played the first game of the season, and I tipped Wolves to be in a relegation battle, and I look like an idiot now. And you said we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. And I said, yeah, we will. And look, you guys have proved me wrong, and I like what Gary Neal's done. And then for our manager, I tell you what, the big thing is because I'm on a lot of shows, and a lot of people are Ten Hag out now, and I'm definitely in the minority, like the 10% minority that are still giving them a chance. Because how I see it is what he achieved last year, getting top 4 and winning the Carabao Cup. I expected that to be this season. The season he's having this season, I expected to be last season. So it's kind of roles reversed. Like the expectation of what our fans thought, we'll get better football last year, might not get Europe, might not win a trophy, but this year we'll get top 4, win a trophy. So it's kind of like 1-1 either way for me at the moment. And a lot of people are like, well, we done well last season. We've gone completely backwards this year. And I'm like, yeah, I completely understand it. But for me, I'm looking at it as like 1-1 in a series of 3. And I'm happy for him to get a third season and see how it goes to Christmas and say, right, if it's not working from there, if it's not changed from there, then maybe change the manager. The disappointing thing for me is that he's had a lot of the money to spend himself, and he's bought players that he's wanted with the 350, 400 million. And it's not quite worked. Martinez is a great sign, and I really like him. Hoyland's for the future, but then you've got Onana, Ericsson, legs are done. Malacia never really available this season. Mason Mount, where is he? And the list goes on. So it has been difficult. And one thing that stands out for me is that since we've actually won the Carabao Cup, I don't think Man United have been good at all. And I'm talking performance-based. Like, yeah, we had a good season last year. We just about scraped top 4 because Liverpool were coming back into it. And the football for us has been poor. And this year it's been poor. The man management with the players. He's had the Sancho situation. Then he's had the Rashford one to deal with now, which has actually been dealt with quite quickly. But he's had Maguire, Ronaldo, Casemiro. He came out and made a comment. I subbed him because I wanted more football. Rafael Varane got dropped for the Manchester derby. Played Lindelof left back. So there's a lot of things that there's more strikes than ticks in the box at the moment. So it's a very difficult one. I can understand why people want the manager out, but then I've said to people, look, you want the manager out, which I understand because you should be getting more out of the players, but if you look at the managers people want, there's De Zerbi, 3-16 at Brighton at the moment. I know they're doing all right, but they've only won 3-16 in the league, goes under the radar. Got Simone Inzaghi at Inter. You've got Nagelsmann, who's at Germany, but he didn't really do well at Bayern. There's a list of names that, Ruben Amorim at Sporting Lisbon. I actually like him, but plays a back 3. Are they going to come to United and change that up? Yeah, so it's whatever manager you get in, there is always going to be an asterisk by their name because there's no one that's clean out there. Thomas Tuchel might leave Bayern. Could he come back to the Prem? But still, everyone will be like, oh, is he going to work? So no matter what, I understand why people want a different manager, but also it's like that's not going to solve everything. And I think the last way of me keeping Ten Hag in the job at the moment and why I'm backing him going into the Wolves game, then we've got West Ham and the run after that is, I've said to people, last year, we built our strengths off Martinez and Varane at the back and Casemiro in front. I kind of called it the triangle. We didn't score loads of goals. Rashford and Bruno done their thing, but the defense was solid. This year, he hasn't had the Martinez, Varane, and Casemiro partnership there. One of them's always been out, or two of them always been out. And now I've got Kobe in there, who's a young 18-year-old. He's exciting. I really like what he's going to bring in the future. And now I'm like, right, can Ten Hag build something off that 4? Kobe, Casemiro, Martinez, Varane. We always talk about in football, Wolves, whoever it is, a spine of a team. He's got them 4 now. If he can't get it working with them 4, 6 weeks' time, 8 weeks' time, the next international break, I might be saying, you know what, I want to change a manager. So this is a big period now starting with the Wolves game. He's got his players back. He's got his main core there. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think obviously the whole new sort of ownership thing should come to fruition for United sooner rather than later. So by the summer, it's almost right off this season. It could be a whole new fresh start. You know, backroom
Yeah.
staff and ownership for United. So be interesting. One name you didn't mention that I think would be almost twerking for that United job is Wolves ex-manager Lopetegui as well. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on him or no.
You know what it is? I respect Lopetegui and what he does. I put him in the same category as Unai Emery. Now, I go on different podcasts and I talk, because like you said, I follow all teams. I don't just follow United. And I've been on the Unai Emery, like, not bashing him, but I'm saying, everyone, calm down. Wolves, Aston Villa are poor away from home. They're good at home, got beat by Newcastle this week, as we've seen. But I said, the football that Aston Villa play, I don't think is that great. Their results have been decent at home, but when you actually watch Aston Villa, the football don't excite me. And I feel like with Lopetegui, I put him and Unai Emery in the same category, that you give them the biggest clubs, the Real Madrids, the Man Uniteds, the Arsenals like Unai Emery was at, they'll just fall short. Give them the Sevillas, give them the Villas, give them the
The
Marseilles.
underdogs almost.
Give them,
Expectations not as high.
give them the Valencias where the expectation is not as high and they can build something. But Lopetegui and Unai Emery, for me, top clubs. No.
Yeah, I think that genuinely is the thing with United though, because obviously with Sir Alex, you just knew they were going to win football matches regardless, and if they weren't going to win a trophy, they were going to be very, very close to winning it. And the expectation, even since him under Moyes, Mourinho, Van Gaal, you know, whoever, the expectation's still at that same level. And I think that's the difficult thing. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if he can.
The structure
turn
point
this
you
around.
make is the key thing, though, because it's like, let's be real. If me and you went into business together and we took over Wolves Football Club, despite Gary and Neil doing a good job and fans are happy, let's just say hypothetically, me and you might be like, we want this manager because this is who we want to build around. This is who we see our project with in the next 3-4 years. So maybe no matter what Ten Hag does, they still might go in a different direction.
Yeah, sure,
Or already, there was a report that came out yesterday that we're going to get a director of football in the next 3-4 weeks. So watch his space on that. And then him and Omar Barada, who's our new CEO, is going to then decide on, you know, Ten Hag's future. So for me, when they say they're going to determine Ten Hag's future, I already think that's a worrying sign, because otherwise you'd come out and say you're going to be planning for the summer with Ten Hag. So I think they might go in their own direction. And if they do, I'm going to back it, because finally we've got footballing people coming into this football club. And whether they want Paul Ince or whoever it is, you know what I mean? I'm going to say, do you know what? They must see something, what they want to do. So I'm willing to go with the structure and see finally, hopefully, the wheels can start turning.
What do you think the issue is on the pitch, Ty, in terms of like for United? Is it defensively? Is it putting the ball in the back of net? Or is it just all across the pitch for United at the moment? There are issues.
I think the attack's been poor, if I'm honest. I don't like the attack and I don't like the midfield. The midfield, we need a completely new, fresher set of legs anyway. I want 2 or 3 central midfielders. How Liverpool have revamped theirs, and they're our arch rivals. You look at the Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister. They spent 120 million in total, but it's like 3 fresh midfielders that like have changed their team. And Man United needs to do the same thing. We'd have to go out and get the biggest names. Go out and get the 40 million pound players or the 50 million pound players, and get 2 or 3 of them and just get some legs and fresh energy into the midfield. And the attack, I think my biggest issue with this United team is they are a lot of confidence players. So Rashford, confidence player. He's got goals over the last few seasons, but when I ask you, okay, how many performances have you seen him been brilliant in? His performances aren't great, but he gets the output. And then you got Bruno Fernandes, again, very inconsistent, very frustrating to watch when you have him as a fan watching him, because he gives the ball away quite a lot, gets petulant as a captain, but then he can produce moments out of nothing. But again, inconsistent. Højlund, a 19-year-old with pin hopes on him, he can't really do nothing if he's not getting the service. Garnacho, a very, what should I say, he gets into positions, but he thinks of shooting first rather than I can set up my teammate. So you've got a lot of imbalances there. And I just feel like we need some fresh attackers. We need some fresh midfielders. And I want players that don't just have to play on confidence. I can believe in them. They've got the natural ability to say, go out there and do your thing. And, not because we lose a game, you're going to be poor, or like when everyone else is playing good, you then play good. I just think there's a lot of problems at Man United. And I think if our name wasn't Man United, our team's bang average. I'll be honest with you. Like our team's very average, and it's disappointing, really.
Yeah, I think the thing for United is, like, I know a lot of Wolves fans are going to be up for this game, but there will be a huge set of fans, not just Wolves, across the Premier League, that are like, oh God, we got United this week. And there is still that fear factor in there when Manchester United come to your stadium or you've got to go to Old Trafford. But I think you're right. That's like literally as an outsider. I think United is so inconsistent. They could turn
Yeah,
up to Molineux tomorrow and beat us 3-0, or
yeah.
vice versa.
You beat us 2-1. Yeah, and
Exactly. Yeah. So it's an interesting one. Very quickly as well, Ty, because you always have a decent opinion on what's going on at Wolves. And I should have watched our last preview to see, because I know you mentioned some good names then. I think Neto was one of them. But is there anyone else that's
yeah.
been sort of standing out for you so far this season that you've been really
I'm
impressed
probably going
with?
to say the obvious one, but I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of Matthias Cunha.
Yeah.
Oh, we were linked to him in January when we got Weghorst. My God, I would take Cunha over him all day. I really have been impressed with him. I don't want to say he's a Firmino type of striker, but he's a striker that's not just an out-and-out number 9. I think his biggest weakness can sometimes be his finishing. But when I look at the total package, he's strong. He's a great ball carrier. I love strikers or false nines that can drop in, pick up the ball from deep and push you up the pitch. United don't have that. Great ball carrier, strong, can run in the channels, intelligent, good IQ. I just think once he gets his finishing boots on, even though he has scored a few goals this fair share this season, I think you've got a really good number 9. And I remember when he came in on loan to you guys at first, and it was a slow burner. He didn't quite tick all the boxes straight away, but I feel like under Gary O'Neill, he's giving him that trust and belief that, look, you're going to lead this line. You're going to be part of this main moves package. And he's thriving now. And I really think you've got a good weapon there. And, Hee Chan Wang, I've always been a fan of. It's a shame that he's not there for you, because I really like him. Even at Salzburg, when everyone's talking about Haaland and stuff, I was like, I really like Hee Chan Wang. So I like that he's come in. He's played off the left. He's played off the right. But he gives you goals, but he works hard. Some South Korean players, Heung-min Sons, Park Ji-sung, played at Man United. They work hard. They don't mess about. And then you've got Pedro Neto, who we said the last preview, injuries are his only downfall. But at the moment, because he champions the Asian Cup, he's had a little bit of a run. He's got his goal against West Brom, and he's going to start building his confidence now, because he's found it hard to get back in the side because Sarabia's been playing. So I'm not the biggest fan of Sarabia. I think he's like a squad option. I think Neto, Hwang, and Cunha is a great front three, dynamic, different. So if you can get them front three back going, I think you've got something to build on. And Gary O'Neill, I've got to give him credit. He surprised me this year. I like his man management. I even like the way he speaks in press conferences. I know people might say it's only press conferences, but him and Ange, the way they're just honest, they're calm, they're direct. Yeah, you've got a good feel good factor at Wolves. And sometimes, like I said, you'd have to go for the biggest names. As a manager, people thought Gary O'Neill at Wolves. You probably thought the same thing. I don't know. But he surprised people. His signings have been all right. And you're not just dashing out money in the market. I know you wanted a couple players and you haven't got the money, but you must feel like you're on a upward trajectory, right?
Yeah, I mean, we go very quickly back to the opening game of the season. Obviously, we played you guys.
To beat us.
Yeah. I know obviously you got the win in the end, but I think obviously the dodgy VAR call, whatever. But I think everyone went into that game thinking free hit. Gary O'Neill wouldn't have had any time. We're like, well, hold on a second. We actually Cunha was played really well. I was like, hold on a minute. And we had a few teething problems early doors, but he's really kicked on now and he's getting the best out of some, really good players. Before we finish off, Ty, two quick questions. Score prediction, but also Manchester United player who could cause Wolves the most damage tomorrow night.
Ooh, player that can cause you the most damage. I'm gonna go with Garnacho. I just think that Man United over the years have always had a bit of an explosive player, someone that can get in behind or stretch teams. If he can make the right decisions in the final third, then we will have better chances to score. He will get in dangerous positions. It's just whether he's selfish and lashes him over the bar or makes the wrong decision, or he picks out the right play or sometimes shoots when he needs to. So I'll go with Garnacho because, Rashford, we don't know if he's going to start. He's going to be back in the squad. That's a 50-50 right now. I don't know if he's going to be available properly. And then score prediction, I'm never confident going to Molineux. It's always a 1-0, 1-1. It's always a tight game like that. I'm going to go 1-1 tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if you won. If you put a gun to my head and said, Ty, you've got to pick a team to win, I'll go with Wolves. Evening game under the lights. I think you will do us, but I'm going to go 1-1. It's going to be a tight affair. I do want to ask you a question though, if that's all right.
Go on.
Yeah. So with your team, I like what you're building at the moment, but I think in central midfield, obviously you've got Doyle, you've got Lamina. You sold my boy to Man City.
Yeah.
I think you've got Bellegarde that can play a bit right central, but obviously he's building up his experience. If you were going to go into the summer market, like what two positions would you think is key? Because I think getting a centre midfielder and then one other that I wanted you to see, which you'd think just from a Wolves perspective.
It's interesting with the central midfielder. Got João Gomez is another player there that you didn't mention. So I
Yeah,
think there's
yeah.
definitely quality there, and still Doyle and Gomez still very young. I don't know. I think central midfield okay. It's not a huge priority, but I still think we need almost a massive, like, just someone that could drive the ball forward, like a really strong
What
player.
Nunes would kind of do.
Yeah, but what we
Yeah,
expected Nunes to do, and he just didn't
yeah,
kick
yeah,
on.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I think number 9's still the one for me. I mean, you mentioned our front three.
Okay.
I think it's great as well, but number 9's the one. But Wolves are still
Would
scoring
that would
goals.
that be to replace Cunha then and put Cunha out wide, or is that to rotate with
It's
Cunha?
difficult because I really like and actually always enjoy seeing Wolves play with 5 at the back, which obviously restricts you going forward because you either got to
Yeah.
lose a central player or a forward player. In an
Mm.
ideal world, you'd play 4 at the back and drop Cunha in as a number 10. You can still play Huang and Neto and then a proper number 9 in front. And
Oh, nice. Yeah.
that would probably be
Mm.
the long-term plan. So
Yeah.
it's just that Wolves got to
Okay.
sort themselves out
You got a
defensively. I
striker
think
in mind that you like?
not a clue, mate. I know
No.
we've been linked with a couple that may come in before the deadline, but at the moment, with the finances, you just don't know who's available, do you
Yeah,
really?
yeah. It'll
So
be interesting to see what you do in the summer then. But yeah, no, okay, no, fair. Yeah, because I like what you're building. So I want to see from your side, yeah, what sort of positions you'd look at. But yeah, if you get a
mm,
striker and they put Cunha in a 10-4-2-3-1, I
yeah,
do
something
like
like
that, to be fair.
that.
That's it's better than United if you get the right
Yeah.
striker.
Mate, like
You know
someone
what I
like
mean?
a Prime Jimenez or someone of that mould would be
Yeah.
brilliant, I think, with that sort of thing for sure. So,
Okay.
Ty, been a pleasure as always, mate. Where can
Yeah.
people catch you in your podcast if they wish?
Yeah, so generic football channel is Never a Foul. So we just talk mainly all around the top 6. That's what we do mainly on that. And then Trafford Tunnel is our Manchester United channel only. So yeah, Trafford Tunnel for Man United stuff. Never a Foul if you're into your generic stuff. But yeah, appreciate you having me as always. Thank you so much. And yeah, good luck. What's your score prediction, by the way?
Uh, I'll go 2-1 Wolves, mate. I've got to
Yeah,
back
yeah, yeah, yeah,
my
yeah,
team.
yeah.
I think it'll be a
I was
close
gonna
game.
say the same. I was gonna say the same. We can't. I'm glad we went different. So yeah, no, we'll
Yeah,
see. But I'll catch up with you tomorrow after the game anyway, and
for
enjoy
sure.
it if you're going.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely, mate. Now, thanks for jumping on. Make sure to leave a link to all the Tyrone stuff in the description down below, mate. And apart from tomorrow, all the best for the rest of the season, brother.
Yeah, cheers, and you, my man. Take
Cheers,
care.
man. So big thanks once again to Ty. I'll make sure to leave a link to his socials on the video. And yeah, like I said, 2-1 win for Wolves in my prediction. The same old, as I normally do. I lean towards a Wolves win. Both teams to score. It's a safe bet, really. But do let me know your thoughts and your score predictions ahead of this one, guys. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Loads of news coming out. We'll get out the transfer news. But follow us at Talking Wolves everywhere to keep up to date. And I'll catch you all very, very soon. Come on, you Wolves.